Welcome, everybody, to the MinnyIce Posctast. Unfortunately for the Wild, the winning streak is history as the Vegas Golden Knights win 5-4 in overtime. Quite the entertaining game, though, between these two teams. And the Wilds, I mean, they led 4-2. Vegas was able to come back to tie it with 40 seconds left in the third period. And then they get the game winner in overtime, but the Wild definitely held their own until that end of the third when they really, and more so into the third period when they kind of went into that, like, let's try to run out the clock, play a little bit more of a defensive style, and hope that we can outlast the Vegas Golden Knights. We saw tonight why the Vegas Golden Knights were in first place in the West before this game started. Because, among other things, too many power play opportunities for the Golden Knights, which they capitalized on. And they seemed like they had more gas in the tank at the end of the game than the Wild did, which is why the Wild ended up losing in overtime. A lot to go over in the course of this game. So just looking at what we had, the Golden Knights got the scoring started. Cody Glass got the Golden Knights on the board to start. So at that point, you're feeling optimistic, hoping that the Wild will do something to get back into it. And then they did it again, something that they've done over the last couple of games that has really just been one of the more impressive parts of this season. They had a couple of rapid fire goals by Jordan Greenway, I beg your pardon, and Marcus Foligno, who just basically kind of nudged the puck in front of Marc-Andre Fleury. So you go from down 1-0 to then very quickly being up 2-1, and they had Fleury on the ropes at that point. He had some really good saves throughout the course of the night, but when they got it to 2-1, it seemed like they really had an opportunity to bury the game, which they would add a couple of goals later in the period after the Golden Knights tied it. Max Pacioretty making it 2-2. Then Nick Bonino with a loose puck that he picked up in front of the net and was able to ram it past Fleury. And then Marcus Foligno goes top shelf to make it 4-2 at that point. And you're thinking at that point, you've got a wobbly Fleury and you've got a Golden Knights team on the ropes. If you can just do a little bit more to put the game away, that then you'd be able to come away victorious. And you look late in the game after the Golden Knights had gone empty net. Marcus Foligno comes up just a little shy of an empty netter, which definitely would have sealed the game at that point. But the Golden Knights were a team that we expected to give a fight this evening, and they certainly did. Some things that I wasn't particularly enthused about in this game was, as mentioned, the penalties that the Wild took. The too many men on the ice penalty that's something that just cannot happen. I mean, you go to any sport, you go to the NFL, and if you're getting a too many men on the ice penalty, that is a user error and something that should be avoided, that can be avoided, to not give the Golden Knights any additional chances than they already had. So that was unfortunate, and that was obviously something that cost the Wild because the Golden Knights had a couple of power play goals in this game, and a team with as good of a power play as the Golden Knights have, you can't give them any extra chances. And the penalty kill for the Wild has been a little bit of a struggle here over the last couple of games after a really, really good stretch at the start of the winning streak. So that was a little bit concerning. In terms of Cam Talbot's performance tonight, I mean, the power play goals given up, you can't, like I just said, you can't give a team like the Golden Knights an advantage because you see how they just pick apart the defense on those power plays, and they really have a good dynamic to be able to find the open skater and ram the puck home. They did that twice. And, Talbot had some great saves tonight, but you look at the goals that he gave up down the stretch, the third, fourth, and fifth goals of the night. Those are some that he's definitely going to wish that he had back. And you don't want to throw all the blame on one person, but it was a team effort in the loss here tonight. Now, some points though that are good things. I mean, the Wild get a point here tonight, despite losing in overtime, so they are now 2 points behind the Vegas Golden Knights in the West Division. And just checking the standings to see if the Wild, in fact, will stay in second place despite the overtime loss. And actually, they have now dropped into third place. The St. Louis Blues, after their win tonight, now 12-8-2, they have 26 points. The Wild have 25. So the Wild now in third place with 25 points. Colorado Avalanche next. They have 23 points. So the Wild will stay in third place for tonight. A chance for them to vault a little higher tomorrow or Wednesday night when they take on the Golden Knights once again. Other than that, not a whole lot of other recap to pass along. We'll of course have our 3 stars for tonight's game coming up here in just a little bit. And then report cards will recap the action in full tomorrow morning. Plus, also coming up at MinnyIce tomorrow, we've got boys high school hockey rankings for week 8 of the high school season. So we'll have those ready to rock for you tomorrow as well. So plenty of MinnyIce content. And of course, I'll find some nuggets with MinnyIce minutes coming up tomorrow morning as well. So the Wild fall 5-4 in overtime. And for the Wild, their first overtime loss of the season, they were 4-0 in overtime to start off the season, but they come up short here tonight. But figured a loss was going to come at some point. So time to just move on and get on to the next game, which the Wild will do coming up on Wednesday. That will wrap it up for the MinnyIce Posctast here for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we will catch you tomorrow for plenty more hockey coverage on your premier hockey news source, MinnyIce.com.